US President Joe Biden said on Thursday that he learned from intelligence meetings that the US Army veteran who drove a truck into a crowd of New Year's Day revelers had pledged allegiance to Islamic State but acted alone in the attack that killed at least 14 people. The suspect, who the FBI said was shot dead at the scene, has been identified as Shamsud-Din Jabbar, who posted videos on Facebook on the morning of the attack in which he said he supported the ISIS. Now, Joe Biden said, as per the FBI, there is no link between the attack in New Orleans and the incident in Las Vegas on the same day.
People in New Orleans are sending an unmistakable message. They will not let this attack or the attackers' deluded ideology overcome us. None of us should fear that he'll overcome us. We're going to continue to relentlessly pursue ISIS and other terrorist organizations where they are, and they'll find no safe harbor here. I'll continue to provide updates in New Orleans and Las Vegas as the facts develop.
Now, a U.S. Special Forces soldier who blew up a Tesla Cybertruck outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas shot himself in the head before the blast. U.S. law enforcement officials say his motivation is still unknown. Matthew Livelsberger, a member of the elite Green Berets, took his own life in the rented vehicle filled with fuel containers and fireworks, which then erupted into flames. Livelsberger's body was burned beyond recognition. Las Vegas police said he had been identified as the driver of the vehicle and that the coroner had ruled he had died by suicide. Livelsberger, identified through his military ID, passport and credit cards, was found with a gun at his feet. And to get us more on this, I'm joined by Shubhendu Ghosh, who's joining us from New Delhi. Good morning, Shubhendu. Now, an official statement has come from current US President Joe Biden, reassuring that the US will relentlessly pursue ISIS and other terrorist organizations. But looking at the history of attacks across the US, what do you think how the US government is going to respond to this matter, considering the fact that 20th of January will have a new chapter in US's political history? Shubhendu.
That's right. Good morning, Deepika. There's the series of couple of attacks that have come in has indeed threatened to open a Pandora's box as far as US's history of fight with the terror group ISIS is concerned. First, let's get the facts right. No terror group officially has claimed responsibility for either of the attacks, the New Orleans or the Las Vegas attack. In New Orleans, we know Shamsud-Din Jabbar, the culprit there was a ISIS flag allegedly found in his vehicle that was used to crush innocent civilians. So in that sense, a link is being established between him and ISIS. And a little look at the recent history of the United States, particularly its fight against the ISIS that peaked in the year 2022, around which time it also sort of wiped out ISIS along with its allies from their mainstay in Syria. We see that Shamsud-Din Jabbar, in fact, was inspired by the data that has come in, inspired by the ISIS ideology. And he committed what was then a term was coined called lone wolf attack, wherein it is just the ideology, you get radicalized by the propaganda of the terror group, and then you commit the crime by yourself. And that makes it very difficult to track the movement and stop such crimes. These crimes peaked around 2022 in the US and also in different parts of the West and Europe in particular. So in that sense, it is going to be challenging if it indeed is the re-emergence of ISIS. A lot is happening also in their erstwhile stronghold of Syria. The Assad regime has fallen. A new government is taking over. A new power is rising there. It is also an opportunity for the ISIS fighters to regroup. But is there a direct link between the ISIS fighters in West Asia and the attack that has happened in New Orleans or even in Las Vegas is a matter of concern. Another link that is quite disturbing is that both these culprits, Shamsud-Din Jabbar and Matthew Livelsberger, happen to be erstwhile U.S. Army, U.S. soldiers. In fact, Matthew happens to be a decorated soldier of the U.S. Army. He's been awarded for his acts of bravery. So in that sense, those links do make these incidents more disturbing. Of course, it's tragic. Multiple casualties have taken place. Many injured are still in the hospital. Many people have come forward to donate blood in New Orleans, where the number of casualties and injured is higher. But the investigation is still underway, Deepika, to find out the linkages between what has happened with the larger terror network, so to say.
Also with this incident, Shubhendu, Trump has once again targeted the immigrants. And now, having known his will to go strict against the concern, how are we expecting Trump's presidency to take up such growing cases across the U.S.?
Deepika, this incident happens at a very crucial time in the United States. Remember, it is a time of transition. Come 20th January, America will have a new president. Also, the governments in the U.S. Capitol will the U.S. Capitol will also shift to the Republicans. In that sense, this moment of transition is very crucial. This is when these incidents have happened. Also, if you see the places and the mode through which these attacks have taken place,
right.
One attack in New Orleans that has taken place, and then the other one, the Las Vegas one, also outside Trump Tower.
Okay.
What was used was a Tesla car, which is Elon Musk's brand. These linkages are also being explored. Yes, Donald Trump has in fact squarely blamed what has happened in these incidents to unchecked immigration, that the present government had left the doors open for immigrants, for criminals to come in, and they are the people who are responsible for the incident. Although the data, the update that has come in is that both these culprits are in fact U.S. citizens. They are not just U.S. citizens, but they've in fact worked in different capacities for the U.S. Army. So in that sense, there is no direct link between illegal immigration and what has happened. But given that Donald Trump is going to be the next president, he's putting his weight behind the narrative of immigrants being responsible is going to be in focus again. He had said that 11 million immigrants, illegal immigrants, will have to leave the United States. And incidents like these add more oil to the fire that he would try to utilize.
Thank you so much, Shubhendu, for joining us and bringing a rounded perspective on what is happening in the United States right now.